is essentially a tale as old as time. The starving artists. They want to be able to pay their bills by doing what they love. That's what's so insidious about this. They see, oh, we've got NFTs now. They've got celebrities buying them for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I could do that too with my art, because I've spent countless years of my life hunched over a desk, breaking my back, producing the media that you consume. Maybe I can actually make a living off of it. But as it turns out, all you need to do is draw some dog shit fucking pit crew shit and scam dumbasses on the internet, and that's how you make your money. So this is Why Are NFTs So Ugly? Apparently number 50 on Trending by Solar Sands. We've watched a decent amount of Solar Sands on stream before, but none of those videos ever became YouTube videos. They're in the content list. They're just kind of old and also not super like readily interesting, I don't think, to my viewer base. Because I can only upload 2 videos a week, I have to be selective for what I think my viewer base will enjoy the most. So they just haven't been high priority. But anyway, this is Why Are NFTs So Ugly? I've got a lot of takes on NFTs. I've delivered them on stream in the past, but not in an authoritative way on the YouTube channel. And I figure I would use this video as a way to deliver that information. NFTs, more like NFTs. Your dad's nuts. Let's go.
To call NFTs a phenomenon would be a hilarious understatement. Never before have I seen something so ferociously take over art discussion, and the internet in general in such a short amount of time.
Like a rash, dude. Like an STI. NFTs have just somehow infected everything, and they're objectively useless. Feels bad.
Well-known musicians like Jay-Z, Post Malone, deadmau5, and Snoop Dogg have participated in them. Even artists I deeply respect have dipped their fingers in the craze, such as Quentin Tarantino and Aphex Twin. The mere mention of NFTs causes emotions to flare up, whether you are—
As it should, but ideally in the negative, okay? Because they're bullshit. They're garbage. They're bad. But we can get into that.
For or against them. It doesn't help that they are also an utterly confusing and frustrating topic to talk about. The very concept of an NFT is hard to understand for lay people. If I were to explain non-fungible tokens as quickly and basically as I can, they are secure digital receipts that are associated with the ownership of digital files or anything on the internet, really. Anyone else can copy this file and save it, but you own this one. So it says.
That's crazy.
People will buy and sell these receipts that are connected to these files for seemingly exorbitant prices, much like how someone may collect baseball cards or Beanie Babies. However,
Except, I feel like Magic the Gathering cards, there's a lot more utility to investing in those. So for those of you who don't know, Magic the Gathering is a trading card game. You get the cards through opening packs, and it is essentially gambling what you might get. They're loot boxes IRL. Sometimes you get very good cards, sometimes you don't. A lot of different cards are attached to a market value because instead of trying your luck on opening packs, so like Pokemon cards are similar, etc., instead of trying your luck on that, you can just go online and buy the card from somebody who owns it. And depending on how high in demand the card is, depending on how good it is in a certain format, or how good it is in a certain strategy or deck that might become popular, a lot of different factors will play into how much money a card will be worth. And if you want to like bypass the wall, especially for a lot of more niche cards from older sets that are not in production anymore, things can get pretty pricey. And that's just so you can secure the card for either the investment or for use in an actual deck. And I think in that way, they actually have more utility because you can play a game with them and have fun in a social capacity with your friends and strangers, and even participate in tournaments and win money or just have fun even if you don't win. But like, what are you doing with an NFT? You're buying it and holding it and hoping it goes up in value. And other than that, like what you look at it, maybe you tug one to it, which I don't know why you would, because a lot of them are uglier than sin. Like there's not a whole lot doing there. I don't know, man. Getting out of Magic the Gathering was the best thing I ever did for my wallet. True, I have wasted a lot of money on cardboard. Not a good play. Anyway, I have more thoughts to deliver on why NFTs might have been more big before the NFTs as we know them today, but we'll probably get into that later on in this video.
You don't need to know exactly how NFTs work to understand this question. Why do they look so ugly? Many of you may be quick to point out this is a generalization, since an NFT can basically—
Art is objective. If I want to fucking masturbate to a picture that I paid $500,000 for, of a monkey with its face dripping off, then that's my God-given right. That's it's artist.
Many of you may be quick to point out this is a generalization. Since an NFT can basically be any digital file, or anything on the internet really, the types and quality of NFTs are about as diverse as any other form of art. Take, for example, this intricate 3D bouquet inspired by Flemish still lifes, or these exquisite line-filled drawings, or this pinball machine-inspired animation, or this cheeky parody of Bernini's Ecstasy of St. Teresa. But I think it's fair to
they're so much better. This is another big problem that I have. Why is it that these AI-generated, easily replicated, mass-produced NFT art pieces are getting more airtime in the conversation than actually interesting pieces of art like this or like this? That's always been my question. So the take that I put out was buying an NFT to have sole claim over the unique file or receipt or whatever, but it's just a tedious reskin of the same character. At least buy some unique artwork, not some picrew jungle animals Lamau. And I did in fact Lamau when I wrote this. Like, what are you doing? The whole point of art collection as it existed before NFTs was literally that there is only one Mona Lisa and it's a physical thing. And if I own that thing, I'm the only one who has it. So depending on how, demand or whatever other market forces apply to it, it either goes up or down in value, and potentially in the future, this investment could pay off and I could sell it for a good amount of profit. That seems to be the idea. And NFTs have tried to adopt that in the digital space, but I think because of the social media aptitude of groups like the Bored Ape Yacht Club or whatever other mass-produced, ugly as sin, AI-generated picrew NFTs out there, because they're better at the social media game, because they're better at fleecing celebrities of their money and getting them to invest in their dog shit art, they're just more popular in the discourse. I'm pretty sure that's why that is. They're just better at social media than the artists making stuff like this. And that's a shame that you even have to be good at social media necessarily to get your art out there.
Say that many of the prevailing mainstream NFTs that dominate memes and the public consciousness are NFTs like these fellas. CryptoPunks, CryptoKitties, Bored Apes, and Lazy Lions. NFTs that
they're literally just min-maxing the NFT space to try to fleece as many people out of their money as possible. The amount of effort that goes into these AI-generated, randomly generated art pieces is infinitesimally small compared to the amount of effort that more than likely went into making this. And I don't even know how much this would have sold for. They are quite literally just min-maxing the NFT space to get as much money as they can, which is, just capitalism, brother, man. It's foolish. I don't know. There's almost no reason to invest in this unless you have more money than you know what to do with.
NFTs that have become the target of quite a lot of ridicule for their perceived scammy nature, environmental impact, obnoxiously devoted communities, and ugly designs.
As they should.
While those other claims can be debated, I can confidently say I agree with the last one. CryptoPunks are just so nothing in terms of aesthetics. They're so basic and bland, I can't really find anything collectible about them. CryptoKitties look more like rats to me with their tapered bodies and perfectly circular eyes. Lazy Lions have this clip art sheen and slightly malformed facial structure. We have hundreds of examples of furry art.
You could literally get more personalized, unique, and rare art of a lazy lion if you just commissioned an artist on the internet. I mean, you might even be able to make that transaction through the blockchain. I don't know why you couldn't just commission an artist to make art for you that's literally personalized and unique to you, then have them sell it to you on the blockchain so that you own the receipt or whatever else. You could still do that, I'm pretty sure, like if the artist was willing to do that for you. But we're getting scammed instead with these picrew jungle animals.
That is facial designs that are far more pleasing, and I think even normies would agree with me. They are overall—
And some of them have big honking titties. Imagine that. I don't see no big honking titties on a lazy lion.
Not the kind of quality work that I would expect people would pay tens of thousands of dollars for. But
furries stay winning in the digital art world. That is true. Furry art is actually obscenely priced. A lot of furry art is selling for like stacks It's absurd. And not only that, but I guess if you're a furry, especially if you're wearing a fursuit and stuff, to be able to have a fursuit that is unique to you, that is not mass produced, that's a lot of money. That's a pretty big investment. And oftentimes when people are commissioning art from people, not just furry art, but all commissioned art in general, it's usually like their original characters, not whatever the hell this is.
I think the overwhelming reason for their ugliness is the simple nature of their creation. These are the kinds of NFTs that are made up of slight variations of a single base model.
It's literally, you just bring up the character randomization screen, you hit random all, and then you just save that a bunch of times and sell it as an NFT. You could literally do that. You could load up The Sims and hit randomize all, especially if you had like all the DLC, and then just take that design, change it to be in a different art style, and then put it in some sort of program to keep randomizing them. You could even do that. Or you could actually do some amount of labor and like redraw the designs in your own art style or whatever else. Like,
usually achieved by generating them through a program that algorithmically randomizes layers with different accessories, skin colors, facial expressions, and things like that. If you ever felt that mini lazy lions, for example, look kind of awkward, like elements seemed completely incongruous, that's because they're being pumped out by a machine. And the base model has to be kind of stiff and lifeless to accommodate so much variation. It also depends on what specific parts are being generated. Combining clothes randomly may kickstart the next fashion craze, but when you combine facial expressions at random, you can come up with some truly bizarre and off-putting faces. As if the details of how these eyes and mouths and noses fit together hasn't been all that thought through.
Because it hasn't.
Result, you're probably going to generate a lot more NFTs that look weird than look decent. If you go onto the artist for Lazy Lion's Twitter, you may find something that surprises you.
Wait, this is the artist's Twitter? How is Lazy Lions such like a phenomenon on social media, but the actual artist who devised all of them, or at least made the bones for all of them, only has 2,884 followers? That's interesting.
Artist for Lazy Lion's Twitter, you may find something that surprises you. When the artist draws a custom lion, even in a sketch, there's a noticeable improvement. Immediately I can see
It's almost like when a human being puts pen to paper and draws a piece of art, it'll look more unique than an AI-generated piece of dog shit. That's crazy. There's no way that could be true.
This one is more alive. That clip art sheen is wiped away. It almost looks like a character with thoughts and feelings.
This video so far is just trying to explain art to like 2-year-olds and like why people appreciate it. This is like art appreciation for literally infants.
I'm even more impressed with this
and somehow the NFT bros just haven't gotten to that point yet.
Version of a lion. Taking the time to carefully animate the expression, the jumping hat, the puffing cheeks, has somehow torn it away from its machine-like clones.
But that would require more human labor, you don't understand. If we're trying to min-max the amount of money we can fleece from wealthy people and celebrities, we can't be doing so much human labor. Because human labor costs people time, and people need to be properly compensated for the amount of labor that they do. And we can't be having that. We can't just compensate people at an adequate rate for the labor that they do. What do you think this is, the USSR? Come on, man.
You know what? If they were all actually like this, I might consider buying some. But of course,
I wouldn't. Even if they were all like this, I wouldn't. You could give me one of these really cool NFT art pieces earlier before, I'm still not buying that shit, no matter how much money I have. But that's just me, I guess.
That kind of effort is pretty infeasible if you plan on making 10,000 of them.
Imagine my
quantity over quality. Even though these kinds of NFTs often fall into the trap of looking stale and awkward because of how they're made, there's still some NFTs that I think pull it off better in terms of aesthetics. Cool Cats has a cutesy minimalist aesthetic. They have a clear advantage in making their designs less awkward when generated because the items they are combining are so simple. World of Women, I think, has the most congruous designs.
Bro, they made women into an NFT. And here I thought the fetishization of femininity was at its peak. I didn't think the commoditization of women and femme people's bodies could go any further, but apparently not. Apparently we made women's into an NFT too. Let's go. Now that's the goddamn free market, brother man. Now if only I could buy and sell real women. That's the libertarian right-wing dream right there.
Dream Loops is a pixel art and music NFT that takes clear inspiration from vaporwave aesthetics. Notable about this one is that
this is pretty cool. These don't seem randomly generated. Now, they certainly could be. It is certainly possible to randomly generate this in the same way that you would the others, but at least it looks neat.
Although visuals and audio were programmatically generated, the melodies for the loopable tunes were individually
and it's music too? Oh wait, that's even better.
Composed and assigned unique drum tracks. What I'm doing is a bit odd for NFTs, since often they are not talked about as art at all.
Yeah,
people will talk about markets, blockchains, decentralization, community.
It's more of a financial endeavor than it is actual art. It's still art. It falls under the definition. Even the mass-produced nature of it doesn't disclude it from being that. But the way that it is engaged with is usually just a financial transaction. It's an investment vehicle.
Few talk about the actual image you are buying. And people in the NFT space will tell you the focus of NFTs isn't the art. Given this information,
he admitted
clear why a lot of NFTs lack aesthetic concern or originality. The value of NFTs often goes far beyond their aesthetic qualities. There are NFTs that give you benefits like rarity, help you win more in digital games, give you access to the metaverse, access to communities,
Bro,
and of course—
show me the person buying an NFT to get more stuff in the Facebook metaverse. What? I don't believe this person exists.
Looks can still play a big part in success. Having a diverse-looking collection is important so that rare items are sufficiently differentiated from common items, and having a collection that clearly has zero—
What is this? These are sick. I like how they literally all have the same face and they just have rotating accessories. At least we're being honest here.
Production value is probably not headed for the same success as others. And I suppose having a fair amount of NFTs that are ugly in a series is a form of—
NFT games are the scam he's referring to? You mean NFTs are the scam he's referring to? It doesn't matter if it's a game, if it's music, if it's a painting, it's all a scam. Sorry, not sorry. It didn't have to be this way. In a general sense, NFTs don't have to be a scam. But the way they're currently being engaged with and the pieces that get the most publicity are all a scam.
When I asked people in the space why they bought some NFTs over others, looks did indeed play a part. I interviewed BeginBot, who owns 3 Bored Apes. This ape, for example, he chose because of the matching DMT skin and expression. He was wide-eyed and mouth open, like he's actually tripping on DMT at the time, and the leather jacket looked cool to me. In short, it's better to have your NFT collectibles look clean, diverse, professional, and have room for combining traits in neat ways, but being conventionally beautiful, let's say, is certainly not the focus. I may not like how they look.
Yeah, I don't need to care about like the actual visual fidelity, the actual quality of the art. My problem is not with that, and that's also not what NFT nerds care about either. Why should I care about how they look when the people buying the shit and pushing the shit don't either? I care about the negative environmental impact. I care about the fact that somebody is going to be left holding the bag once the scam is over. I care about the fact that it's seemingly diluting and further commoditizing art which has already been commodified. That's what I care about.
NFTs are not all created equal. NFTs like CryptoPunks, Dreamloops, Lazy Lions, and especially Bored Apes are in a higher tier, so to speak.
And I'm pretty sure, by the way, that's just because they have better social media marketing. They've been able to, like I said before, scam people like Snoop Dogg, Post Malone, and other people into buying the shit, and they use that as celebrity endorsement, because it literally is, even if it's not full-throatedly like, hey, I'm Snoop Dogg, and this is the end of Bored Ape Yacht Club, and I'm buy it. You know, just simply the fact that he buys it is an endorsement, and that's enough to get people to soy face over it.
So if you buy an ape, you can, for example, put it on a t-shirt and sell it. The Bored Ape Yacht Club is constantly building the brand, making deals, starting gimmicks like mutant apes, and encouraging community camaraderie. They are the trendsetters for making an NFT successful. Say what you will about Bored Apes, they are not a rush project. But I can't say the same for a majority of NFTs. For example, and yet so ugly. You can see that the edges are all pixelated because I'm guessing they screwed up trying to give it a transparent background. The eyes are clearly ripped from some sort of clip art, and the way the arms are connected to the torso is like if you took out a Lego minifigure arm and didn't push it in the socket all the way.
Yeah, but
wait a minute, what the hell?
This is literally the game, though. I don't know why you expected nothing but this. It's literally the same format. They're just not trying as hard, I guess.
These were traced from some sort of minifigure, but not a Lego one. Yeah, someone on Discord found out these are absolutely traced from something called bear bricks. This person takes famous images of celebrities and puts a bad oil painting filter over them while trying to pass them off as if they were actually painted. Look at this one, they call this an animation of the step-by-step process. Mutant apes are in a higher tier of NFT, I suppose, but most of them are just so deliberately revolting, you couldn't pay me to own one. This one gets me the most. Not only is it astonishingly ugly—
oh shit, it's literally a shark. It's the Shark Tale shark. Let's go, dude. They chose, what was it, the DreamWorks film with the most disgusting character design and decided to make an NFT out of it. That's literally what you're supposed to do in this space for NFTs.
they couldn't even bother to like go into the movie and find a more fitting frame of this character, maybe one with both of its arms down. They are just that lazy. These are NFTs from people who objectively do not give a shit. In fact, they make bored apes and lazy lions look like the Mona Lisa in comparison.
I don't think that's true. I don't know. Solar Sands. I think you got your head in the sand or something. I don't know what's going on with this video. I think you're trying to be the enlightened centrist. But when your opinions, come through, I don't know about that one, Chief. It's the same process. They just tried a little harder on the bones of it. They tried a little harder on the pieces that get randomly generated and swapped around. That's literally it. So in that way, they did do a little bit more labor, but it's still the same process.
It seems to me, just from scrolling through sites like OpenSea, that these things are clearly not made by artists. More like people who have never picked up a paintbrush using the bare minimum of visuals to generate get-rich-quick schemes. Sadly, as much as there are dedicated artists in NFTs, as the technology goes through its growing pains, there's going to be an abundance of this garbage.
What if I'm broke, invest in a Bored Ape early, sell it to peak, and effectively scam Post Malone? Is it not useful for NFTs in that case? How often do you think that's going to happen? SecKJ in my chat. You're playing the lottery, which is essentially a stupid person tax. You're gambling. How often do you win when you go to Vegas? That's what this kind of financial speculation is. It's just gambling. So like, even if in your hypothetical, you were able to buy a Bored Ape early and then sell it when demand is higher and it's worth more money, you could make money on that. But how often is that going to happen? I can guarantee it's not going to happen often enough. And in fact, the opposite is likely to happen, where you spend exorbitant fees on this dog shit and you end up losing money at the end. Isn't the stock exchange gambling too? Yes. But at least in that case, you're a lot of the time investing in companies that produce a good or service. So at least there's a little bit more utility to owning stake or being a shareholder in a large corporation. Rather than whatever the hell this is. Yeah, there's also a lot more regulation. There's also a lot more regulation on the stock market, which is funny to say, considering how much deregulation and how much fuck shit goes on in that space. I'm just saying they could help people if used correctly, yeah, but they're never going to be used in that way. The probability that somebody actually does well off that it's essentially just like playing the lottery. You would never advocate for a poor person in a destitute financial situation to use the small amount of money they have, go to Vegas and try to make it on the fucking roulette wheel. You would never do this. In fact, that should be illegal because the probability that they actually are successful is so low, and the probability that they lose the last small amount of money in this hypothetical that you've brought to me that they have, they're just going to be worse off. The majority of people who are going to win in the NFT space, and I could be wrong about this, I could be proven wrong in the future, seems to me that the majority of winners in the NFT space are going to be the people like whoever is behind producing the Lazy Lions NFT, who is better at social media marketing, who is able to get their shit out there and increase the demand in that way, and then sell them to fucking losers who end up buying them and making no money. The amount of people who are going to make returns off of a Bored Ape or a Lazy Lion appreciating in value and then selling for a profit is infinitesimally small compared to the people that are producing the dog shit that they're scamming people with. So really, if you wanted to try your hand at this, it would probably be better and have a higher probability of success for you to start your own NFT shop and make your own Pickroo jungle animals rather than investing in somebody else's scam.
Because it is an emerging tech, NFTs are also plagued with problems and bad actors. There's very little in the way of regulation. Art theft is rampant and easy, some say NFTs are ideal for money laundering, and even doing simple transactions can be disastrous if you're not paying attention. Despite all this, there is still a strong community around NFTs like Bored Apes. When looking for information about this stuff, people were pretty enthusiastic to share their experiences and thoughts about their involvement in the space. One person in the Lazy Lions Discord told me his thoughts on the whole matter. I think the reality of how it has enabled many talented people to monetize their work should be celebrated. The NFT space has a long road to go in terms of bringing people in and making a space that is safer from scammers and rug pullers, but that part of it is being considered. You can also find communities that you vibe with. The art is absolutely a part of it, but it is also a community and network access group with people all across the world. Many on the outside view this devotion as cult-like.
So that's incredibly distressing to me. This right here. The reality of how it has enabled many talented people to monetize their work should be celebrated. Is that actually happening though? Because all I'm seeing is these Picru randomly generated jungle animals that look like dog shit. I don't know how many actual like unique pieces of art are getting as much play, and in that way having as much demand, making them worth as much money, making that much money for the artist. Maybe I'm not looking in the right places, but I haven't seen it. And that's what's incredibly insidious about people that are scamming people actively. The way that this is incredibly insidious to me is essentially a tale as old as time. The starving artists. Artists since the dawn of time. There have been people that are incredibly passionate about their craft that have spent literally incalculable hours honing their craft, getting better at drawing, painting, producing music, actual tangible skills that require a lot of labor, literally blood, sweat, and tears sometimes to produce. And people want to make money off of that. They want to be able to pay their bills in the society we currently live in where you need money to live. That's what's so insidious about this, is that that's a very easy group of people who are almost always struggling. So people are going to try their best to make this kind of art, to pay their bills, and they see, oh, we've got NFTs now. There are so many people making so much money off of their NFTs. They've got celebrities buying them for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I could do that too with my art, because I've spent countless years practicing my craft, learning how to draw, hunched over a desk, breaking my back, producing the media that you consume. Maybe I can actually make a living off of it. But as it turns out, all you need to do is draw some dog shit fucking Picru shit and scam dumbasses on the internet, and that's how you make your money. There's no passion in it. You don't have a background in giving a fuck about doing any of this shit, and this is the shit that's making the money. So you're gonna tout it as, oh, the people, you can make so much money off of it. Wow, you could not be starving anymore. But it's not gonna happen for you because nobody gives a fuck about your fucking work. That's what's so insidious about this absolute fucking dog shit. Never mind the fact that it's disastrous for the environment, but who the fuck cares about that? You're preying on people that are already starving. Fuck this shit, dude. Anyway, that's what I don't like about NFTs. But if we're gonna be exploiting people for their labor and not giving a fuck about actual passionate people who have poured their life into the discipline that they've been working on, fuck it. Anyway.
You can also find communities that you vibe with. The art is absolutely a part of it, but it is also a community and network access group with people all across the world. Many on the outside view this devotion as cult-like. NFT holders have gotten the reputation for being very outspoken and engaging in hype, getting tattoos, putting their apes on literally everything, and rabidly encouraging each other whenever someone buys an ape. Some seriously have the belief that their apes will hold their value long enough to be passed down to their children.
Lol.
Some believe NFTs—
Hopefully not. Hopefully all these fucking crypto farms get regulated, and by regulated, I mean regulated. Through, perhaps means that I can't say on Twitch. Listen, don't mind me, who up at 3 a.m. running through a crypto farm with a big old magnet,
These will replace traditional art. The ArtNet News Twitter account, which usually posted articles about the art world—
And it's intensely sad, by the way. Like I said earlier in the video, NFTs could theoretically have been a way to actually give artists an ability to monetize their work in a way that allows them to live off of their work. It could have been that way, but As always, people who know how to play the game better, who have more of an understanding of, speculative financial markets and investments, people who seem to be better at manipulating social media, have found a way to min-max it to the point where NFTs are synonymous with these garbage AI-generated pieces of dog shit. So here we are. And I don't think you're putting that cat back in the bag. Like, NFTs are soiled at this point. Like, you've soiled it. It's over. You're not closing Pandora's box for NFTs.
NFTs have spread like a virus to seemingly every corner of the internet, and in many instances it comes across as people rapidly adopting something just to make a quick buck with no further thought or planning. It seems like everyone's selling NFTs. Even the dead, apparently. Hey, considering Bob Ross's love of nature, I got a feeling he wouldn't be too thrilled about this.
Oh my god, what is this? Holy fuck, it's a Funko Pop Bob Ross NFT. Jesus. The way that the art market already preys upon artists, especially considering the fact that because of scarcity, supply and demand, most of the time, a lot of these artists' art becomes more valuable after they fucking croak. This is just salt in the wound, man.
Funko Pop NFT. And even more bizarre is a collection on OpenSea using George Floyd's image in fucking Floydies.
At least this is more honest, okay? They're not even trying to hide the fact that it's a blatant scam. This is better than the Bored Ape shit. Now, I don't agree with it, and I think it's intensely disrespectful, and probably racist as well, but at least they're being more honest about it. Even if they're propping it up like, oh no, this is actually... we're actually trying to pay respects and this is actually art. The fact of what they look like and the idea of what it is, I think if the layman sees that, it's pretty recognizable that it's a scam. Whereas the Bored Ape or Lazy Lion and shit, not so much.
It's pretty impressive that in one day, I was confronted with the 3 most despicable acts I have seen this entire year. Oh wait. There's one more.
Let's go.
Let me tell you a quick story about Quinny Art. She was a talented and popular artist.
I remember this artist. She's the one that puts the sparklies everywhere.
Who suffered from many medical issues. Her art would sometimes consist of poetic expressions of her experience, and she was an inspiration to many.
You always know it's a Quinny drawing if there's like a glowing thing somewhere in it. There's always these stars, these glowing fish. It's very nice to look at. And also, very good.
Eventually, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and passed away a few months later. Someone impersonated her and turned her art into an NFT. I truly feel for artists at this time.
Imagine my shock. That's still more honest, by the way. This person is literally impersonating a dead person who died of cancer, who produced in their lifetime incredible works of art, who no doubt labored for incalculable hours to be able to even produce such art. Hey, listen, I mean, art speculation, Scarcity, man. As soon as you die, your art becomes more scarce because you literally can't produce anymore, so it becomes more valuable as a result. You're that starving artist, literally die. And your art will be more valuable and you can make more money off it. Now, unfortunately, you can't take that money with you to the grave, but just food for thought.
When artists are constantly screwed over in terms of getting fair payment for their work, the chance to make real money off of something you love can be very tempting. Things like ugliness, scams, rampant art theft, annoying hype, and trampling on the dead are all things that, in the long run, can theoretically be ignored as matters of taste or are the acts of a few bad actors.
That's some good copium, dude. God damn. Whew. Sorry, I need to hit one real quick. Jesus. That is some homegrown copium right there, brother man.
Those who support NFTs will point to the potential benefits. Decentralization.
Just a few bad apples, chat.
Liberating artists, cutting out middlemen, bypassing gatekeeping galleries, and creating a technological revolution. What really matters is if there is anything fundamentally wrong with the system itself. That's where the environment...
Yeah, that being said, I don't give a fuck if there's anything inherently wrong with how NFTs operate at a baseline, logistical level. That doesn't matter to me anymore. Because like I say, I don't think you're putting the cat back in the bag. People have already understood that this is a totally unregulated market where you could fleece people for literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. It doesn't matter if the most skilled artists that actually produce unique artwork start selling NFTs, they're not going to do as good as the scammers. They're just not. It's not what the market's for anymore. It's been taken over. So I don't even care if NFTs at a base level are actually like cool or whatever, because it's not happening like that anymore. Unless, of course, and I think the only way that this would happen, that the government actually decides to regulate the NFT market in some way that makes it so that this mass-produced dog shit is somehow not as valuable. But even then, I don't know how you would do that. I don't know how that kind of regulation would manifest. It seems like the only regulation that would occur would be like safety against being scammed and safety and safeguards within like the actual transaction.
I can't blame those who don't know, because this kind of information may not be obvious to people first starting them. Most NFTs are bought and sold using Ether, which is part of the Ethereum network. In this network, crypto miners engage in a computational race in order to validate transactions on the blockchain, and earn Ether as a reward through a mechanism called proof of work. This system requires warehouses full of computers that use a lot of electrical energy. What seems to be a misconception—
Forget the environmental impact. Listen, if Elon Chungus, Wholesome 100, Keanu is gonna terraform Mars and let us live there, then let's just forsake the Earth. The big problem here is the fact that I can't buy a goddamn GPU so I can stream high-fidelity video games for my viewership. That's the problem I have. That's the definition of a fucking sin right there. If I can get to Mars after Elon Chungus has terraformed it, and at least I have like a 3080 Ti, then I'm booling, okay? I'm chilling.
Is that NFTs themselves cause environmental harm, when in reality, according to CBS News, it is more like how the networks NFTs are built on are secured that is fundamentally energy intensive.
Yeah, no shit.
According to The Verge, it's still up for debate whether NFTs are significantly increasing emissions from Ethereum, or if they're just taking on responsibility for emissions that would have been generated by miners anyway.
That does seem to me to make sense. Like, the Ethereum was going to get produced regardless. The fact that it's NFTs is just like salt in the wound. But in my view, crypto and its consequences have unironically been a disaster for the human race, because it provides literally close to zero utility outside of financial speculation, and the amount of bullshit that it produces in terms of environmental harm, and even harm for like the people that are getting scammed. It's just irrevocably bad.
Anyway, but if more people demand NFTs, this may increase the value of Ethereum, meaning miners buy more machines to mine, meaning more pollution.
Yeah, imagine my shock that right-wing libertarians are super excited about miners.
Currently, Ethereum and Bitcoin's energy consumption has frequently been compared to that of small countries. To say all NFTs are equally harmful for the environment would be a lie. Other cryptocurrency networks exist, like Tezos, which uses a proof-of-stake mechanism, which is said to be much more efficient and creates far less emissions. Things like carbon offsets also exist, and in fact, many in the NFT community are open to and encourage efforts to improve cryptocurrency technology, such as the Crypto Climate Accord.
How about we just don't fuck around with cryptocurrency, until we clean our house first? How about that? How about the electricity that we need to generate for the people that live in this country and around the world in order for them to have heating, air conditioning, the ability to cook food, and whatever other shit you're doing with your electricity, running water, whatever else? How about we clean house first and make that more energy efficient? And then maybe we can play with silly little speculative pet projects like cryptocurrency. Maybe then. If we do all that first, if we can move away from fossil fuels and we can make renewable energy more efficient, then maybe I wouldn't care about the wasted energy. Maybe. How about if I had a magic wand? Like, how about all of the energy used to generate and mine cryptocurrency and facilitate the transactions and whatever else the energy consumption is used for? How about we just take that and move that energy with our magic wand to developing countries where they have to shower with buckets of water? How about we take the amount of money required to produce the cryptocurrency and reinvest that back into communities that need it with our magic wand, instead of making some bullshit, randomly generated mockeries of art and fleece celebrities and people that don't know any better?
The fact remains that there is a lot of uncertainty out there about the energy usage of this technology in exact numbers. The data is very new, and
I'm calling for a complete and total shutdown on cryptocurrency energy until we figure out what's going on.
Everyone should be vigilant and skeptical. But mining cryptocurrency absolutely does have an environmental impact to at least a considerable degree. And so far, the only articles I found that seem to downplay the environmental effects of cryptocurrency and NFTs are those written by companies involved in cryptocurrency. Before making this video, I said to
No way. That's never happened in any other industry.
myself I would go where the information leads me. I have considered everything, and while the idea of NFTs is interesting, and it may have a lot of opportunities for digital artists in theory, there are so many problems with it as the system currently stands that I cannot support them as long as these issues remain.
Literally, if you want to support independent artists, you already can. It's called commissions. You go to somebody's social media, maybe they have a website. You see if they have commissions open. You send them a message being like, hey, I have an interest in your artwork. I would like to pay for your labor to produce a piece of artwork for me in the form of a commission. And then you do that. It's a novel concept, really.
It's a shame that such a fascinating technology has been taken over by so many bad actors and scammers. I can only hope that changes. For now, they are a show.
Like I say, the naive optimism of somebody trying to posture as a centrist on an issue, at least until the end where he says he can't support them.
Case of human greed. They are as ugly on the inside as they are on the outside.
I'm glad our actual opinions are coming through. The majority of this has been him just trying to like neutrally and objectively describe the topic at hand. I'm glad that we're getting this at the end at least. In short, fuck NFTs. All of my homies hate NFTs. Literally just commission artists. And if you really want to, maybe there is an artist out there that you could commission an original piece from, and maybe they could sell it to you on the blockchain so you can have that unique little receipt or whatever the fuck. Anyway, I'm just going to catch up on chat real quick since I was popping off in this video. Real problem is not the average NFT or crypto user. As always, these things get abused by already rich people. Well, Conure, I wish I could insult people with the same articulation and enunciation you do. You'll have to have been on the internet for a long time and also played a lot of competitive video games in order to attain that skill, I'm pretty sure. I don't even think I'm as good as I could be. Someone stealing a dead person's art and profiting off it, that's sick as fuck. Well, that's essentially like, they're essentially grave robbers at that point. Like, the fact that, like, traditional art, like, so for instance, like a Picasso piece, a lot of Picasso's art is obviously going to be more in demand because of the fact that it's more scarce because he's fucking dead. So the art becomes more valuable. It's kind of like a similar concept in that way. And people have literally, like, stolen art from museums before. Like there's a whole like meme trope about that in media. It's a similar concept for the NFTs. Like the NFT person who impersonated, what was her name, Quinny's art? They essentially did that, right? Just in a roundabout way. They essentially just went to a museum, stole a dead person's art, and then sold it. But they didn't even have to try too hard because they could just right click and save, ironically. The Conure callout for today's video is none other than not the two-time, but the three-time featherweight champion of the world, Rumble Ball! This is literally the third time that you've won this thing, and I'm starting to get a little sus. Got my eye on you. If you'd like to be the next Conure callout, all you gotta do is follow me on Twitter at ConureCC, retweet my video links when they go live. I don't know if you'll be as lucky as Rumble Ball, but maybe you'll be able to hack the, my computer and make it happen. I don't know. It seems to be able to Rumble Ball. Sounds crazy shit. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Put all notifications on. We absolutely beat the living hell out of that bell. Leave a like if you like. Comment something prettier than an NFT down below, which is incredibly easy. So I should see a lot of comments. Have a blessed day.